one of the things I tell young men, well, and young women as well, but the young men really need to hear this more, I think, is that you should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
Being aggressive. That means you are ready to attack. As I always point out, this doesn't mean you walk around with your chest puffed out, ready to bang heads with everyone around you. What it does mean is that you are going to get after it. You are going to move fast. You are going to think fast. You are going to outthink and outmaneuver the enemy. If I think the enemy is going to attack me, I'm going to attack them first.
Come on.
Greatness is not only talked about, it's about the work that you put in.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Jared Gray, aka Boomer, with my man DDP, Nino Brown, with the Head Ed Podcast. Little mocking around we're going to do tonight. What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm just I have to stop dodging them today. You've been in the mood. You've been throwing out zingers, so I'm excited for this one. I got my Balboa gloves on. I'm ready to bob and weave, my man. Let's get it.
I like to stir the pot a little bit. Hey, if you either step up or step aside, the way I look at it. So we don't have that problem with you and me. So there's that.
Never. This is gonna be a good one, right? We got some of our friends in the IDP industry, some of our boys.
We got the big dogs in this today.
Oh, my guy, don't touch the camera. Leave the camera.
All right, the movie, it looked rough for me.
Well, now you look rough. Now you look a little rough. You gotta let the service come in. But yeah, we got our guy Mace. We got Justice. Let me run down who we got in here. We got a guy Craig, the Milk Cotton Boy, Russ Mavis, part of the head-to-head crew, who could be joining us as well. All right. I'm not sure if Joey the Tooth is in, if he got in here, but we got some guys. There's a lot of guys in here. Iggy's in here. It's gonna be fun.
We got Nav Subman D-Rick. He's in our main league. He hopped in, so this will be fun for him. He's a second-year IDP guy, so it'll be nice to see what he does with his rookie draft. So
now I'd like to say it's a standard scoring, but like for some reason, and shout out to my guy Mace, because he's been on his soapbox on this one, right? Saying that Sleeper won't just, the community itself needs to come together to give it a standard scoring, and I think everything else after that will go, and that's what happened with regular fantasy, with Sleeper and all that. They got a consensus standard, and then you were able to break it off from that. I think the community needs to get together and just get the standard scoring down.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall there is a standard scoring to a point. Some people just like to give more pop to,
right,
to some sacks or interceptions, or if a defensive touchdown should be worth a defensive, at least a defensive touchdown, not more. So add the interception and fumble recovery, all that stuff. It's a little more. So I think we do pretty well. With our scoring that you and me do back and forth.
Oh, yeah. I tend to get a little heavy on certain things because certain things don't happen as often. So
I hear you.
All right. Let's bring this up. Let me get it real quick. Jared, what pick do you have in this lovely draft of ours?
So I decided to move back. I wanted people to have a better chance. So Kay Ruth took my third spot. I was directly in front of you. I moved all the way back to halfway through 7 or something like that.
6. You're at 6. I see.
6.
Who's Pinky for life? You got it cool. His avatar is crisp.
It is pretty crisp. I'm not exactly sure.
All right, let me get the screen up.
Might be in one. I posted on the IDP group on Facebook. There's 12,000 members there. So,
is that Leo? It could be Leo. It could be Leo. He got the bald head. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's possible. All right, let me bring it up. Sleeper coming on in. Do. There it is. All right, we're gonna start this mark off right with Cali King. That's our guy Mace.
Let's see what my man. Oh, she didn't waste no time. Will Anderson.
He was locked and loaded.
Jack Campbell, Justice. I'm not surprised by that at all.
No, not at all. Now, when it comes to me, I'm going to pause. We'll talk about these gentlemen for a second. I'll pause the draft real quick. I can keep going. We don't need to pause it. We got it going. What are your thoughts?
Talk about it after each round if you want. I'm good either way.
What are your thoughts here on Jack Campbell?
So I mean, like I said, I think he's the general of that. They didn't go up and grab him in the first round if he's not going to be the guy. I'm sorry, Alex Anzalone, but your time is gone.
Okay.
So,
Ooh, now see, this is you and Coach's guy. Boy, Craig here takes Drew Sanders to Denver.
hey, it's a good pick. I mean, it'll be interesting how they use him. Because he could. I think he should play the middle and let the other two guys, Singleton and your guy,
Josie
Jewell. I think they should let them kind of rotate on the outside of them. Run more of a 4-3 type of defense and let the defensive line not near as strong as it used to be. So let your linebackers eat. It won't happen, but that's what should happen. I like Sanders though.
As I look at my cellular telephone here, do I take Jalen Carter? Because he's the standard scoring of the points of the defensive line compared to a linebacker. What's going to be, or do I take Tyree Wilson, who's probably going to be going against some kind of second string?
Can you imagine being opposite of Max Crosby? I mean,
that's what I'm saying. You're going to have an easy day for those first couple of games, so there's some film on you.
I mean, he ain't going to get to me anyway, so I'm good either way. But if you either pick him or I pick him, so that's how it's going to go here. So
I'll take Jalen Carter because I think my man's on that defense. He's got his gang back together. His crew's there. They're already wilding out. So I think it's going to be a buffet over there in Philly.
Interesting.
Let's see what happens now. Doctor of Fantasy doesn't have the green dot at the moment, so he's not on the board. Now, obviously, let's talk about my guy Mason's pick. Will Anderson, he's the consensus one. We don't know the deal here. I mean, he's the alpha of all the dogs. Jerry, what is your predictions for first year? Where are you going to rank him in?
So I think he has a very similar year to, I would say, Nick Bosa's rookie year, which puts him in the conversation for defensive rookie of the year, obviously.
Right.
Even if it's Max Crosby, we're talking 10 sacks here.
Right.
So I can think of 3 guys that he could easily, match. It's going to depend on how – I think they're going to be on the field a lot, so he's going to get opportunity. You know me, I'm about the snap counts, and if he gets 700, 800 snaps, he's going to get 10 sacks. So, right. And that's the way I look at it.
Now, that's where I kind of worry with Tyree Wilson. Is he going to get that many snaps? Are they going to put him in early? And if he does go in early, I'm with it because, like I said, he's going to be facing not the top
mother lover.
Oh, wow! He went up. Somebody knows who is it? That's one of you. That's one of your haters right there. He knew that was your guy.
How are you gonna? I mean, this is stressful. I thought for sure I'd get him in the second.
I mean, it's a little bit of a reach. But to each their own, however you want to build it. Do you think that this pick here is because this person believes Leonard is done?
Well, here's Deion Henley's, with the Chargers, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I looked at his logo. I saw the.
I know. I got you.
No, what's his face is gone. Tranquil's gone.
Tranquil's gone, but they brought in Kendricks. Kenneth Murray's there. Well, Deion Henley's going to kind of play in this weird role. Obviously, I'm a huge Deion Henley fan. If you've obviously listened to me at this point, if you're picking Deion Henley in the first round. So, smart move by you because I'm pissed about it, to be honest with you. But
so does Murray get moved with this pick? Because
I think it's highly possible. I haven't really talked to him a ton, but he don't seem worried either way. I'll tell you that.
I didn't think he was. All right, who are you going with? You're on the clock here. You got about 1:40 left.
So I said that if he got to me, I would draft him. So I've got to draft Tyree Wilson. I just love his role. I mean, I think he's going to get 700 snaps, and I love Chandler being over there. But there's a reason why you draft him when you draft him. It's because you think he's the next guy. And him, Max Crosby, even if he rotates with both of them,
that's it. Perfect.
He don't get 10 or 15 sacks.
Facts. And everybody's fresh. You don't even know who to cover. And God forbid if they ever were able to get him on the inside.
Oh my God.
He's
a monster. Like I met him at the draft, and he is an absolute monster.
He had the big shades on,
He was dressed fresh too, bro. Like
yeah.
that did not. He don't mess around. He did not care. Like
No, he did not. No,
he's ready.
I love it. I love the Nolan Smith pick.
I really like. I'm glad somebody didn't steal my pick here. I don't know if I'm going to get. I had 9 people in my queue. I think I have 4 left. I do.
Now, when do you see the first safety off the board here?
I think you're going to see it in a second. People understand what you got to get, what you got to grab early. As we say this, Devin Witherspoon is a good pick for one reason. He's going to get targeted.
Right.
Because especially the way Seattle's playing, they're going to demand you pass against them. So I like the pick.
They didn't learn last year, right? They targeted Woolen, and he almost was.
Yeah, and they're not going to They're not going to do it this year, which means they're going to, for cornerback heavy leagues. I really like Witherspoon in general. There's 2 other guys I like more though.
Yeah, I got it.
So we'll see if it gets to me, and we'll decide in a second.
One of the guys I like more he's on the first screen. I'll give you that. Oh, Iggy takes my.
Somebody went after my dude Joey. Somebody went after him.
Just watched a video today as I was going through doing my stuff of Joey Porter versus Garrett Wilson. Penn State, bro. Garrett Wilson didn't eat in that game, and and Joey was a young buck. So
young buck.
He can do it with the elite guys. He can do it for year 1 in the NFL.
It was kind of like that, Derek Stingley.
Mm-hmm.
When he was a freshman, dude, nobody messed with that dude. And Porter got taller. I mean, I didn't say he put on much weight, but I mean, pedigree, man, you can't argue with it. He's a smart kid. So
you see the video, right? Dad says, this is it. This is gonna motivate you even more than before. Like these little nuggets I give you, it's for a reason. So I love it. I think it's he stays home, going back to what Dad played. So he'll eat. We
knew it was gonna. We talked about it that day. We thought that Porter was gonna go first pick, and we know that they got like 7 or 8 calls for that pick. So
yeah, a lot of quarterback talk.
Yeah, I really thought Levis was gonna get picked at the first pick in the round too. So did you?
Yeah, I was.
With all the phone calls that we heard, it was crazy. This will be an interesting one here, right here.
This is the thing. Sleeper's got to get with the program. I agree with you, Craig. You got to know your guys and go get them. Can't just go by ADP. The ADP is.
Oh yeah, that's the thing is, and here's where I'm going to tell you guys: if you do not watch, enough as it is, my rookie IDP rankings come out. We have a consensus between me and Nino that'll be coming soon. We're even going to team up with my guy Master IDP and probably Maze, who's here. We're going to get a good group of rookie rankings for everybody and have a good time. Because I want you guys to do well in your draft. I mean, there's 4 or 5 people that are in our main league, and I might blow my whole league up, like whole team up, just so everybody else has fun. So that's just how this goes. I like that you drafted like this, by the way.
Yeah. No
snake. Yeah, I like this.
Lucas Van Ness coming at the end of the thing. I want you to talk about him because I know you didn't like Van Ness in the first round.
I didn't. I did not like Lucas Van Ness in the first round.
Ooh, amazing, Justin!
Sorry,
coming out swinging, taking Jared's guys. I love
Justice. We gotta talk, bro. Like,
hey, I think Felix. So listen, I saw a thing on the Angry Blue Bird, and he was a respected gentleman. But talking about how he had Felix and Duque somewhere in like the 30th DN on the group, how he shouldn't be a first round pick. Bro, where he's going, what's around him? Frank Clark's gone, right? It's Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, and Felix.
Yeah, I told you I had him mocked to Kansas City in our draft, in our mock draft, and I absolutely love him. Mother lover, you guys need to stop listening to our show. Apparently, like
so. I'm going to go off chalk here, and you're probably going to be angry with me.
I know exactly what you're going to pick.
I'm going to take Brian Branch because I think...
Yeah, literally, my freaking thing just went down. So
I feel like he could be Petrie for the Detroit Lions this year. So It'll be.
You know what's coming since you picked a safety. You know what's coming with me. So
it'll be
I've got one. So one of two of my guys is about to come off the board. So, and I'll even tell you why it's one or why it's the other. So
I think it's crazy that Miles Murphy's still on the board.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, I loved his landing spot. But I couldn't pass Wilson up, getting him at pick 6. So, because there's no way he gets pick 12 to me. So, or sorry, to pick 18 to me. So
yeah, no, that's not happening. No way, not even close.
I really thought I'd get Anaduke, to be honest with you. Like I'm kind of in a weird spot right now. Literally all three of my defensive linemen have been picked. By the way, Lucas Van Ness wasn't on that list.
That's what I'm saying. So tell people at home why you don't got him in that first round talent.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Lucas Van Ness, don't get me wrong, I don't mind the spot, right? I like Green Bay, this and that. The only thing that really impressed me about Lucas Van Ness is his hair. So,
how can
the dude's got elite hair, but I mean, I'm just not huge on his. He's not got great bend. He's not super flexible. He had a good combine, but that's the thing. Where's the tape? If you can't be a dude for, where you're at, and I like Lucas Van Ness. I think he's as good as Epinesa, but Epinesa ain't done nothing since he's been in the league. He was a 5-star. So I just need to see a little mother lover, bro. You guys are killing. See, someone's listening. Yeah, got Miles Murphy, right? Great pick. I just think Lucas Van Ness is a guy that, with everybody around him, those guys are going to eat, right? I mean, people forget there was a guy who's leading the league in sacks last year that got injured with an ACL week 4. So on the Packers, which he's fully healthy again. For me, this is a pretty easy one for me. We've been blowing him up. Loved his landing spot, especially with everybody gone. And he's one of the only guys that wasn't drafted from Georgia. And that's my guy, Sidney Brown.
I love it. Love it.
I think it's a great landing spot for him. I mean, CJ leaving, you got really good corners in front of him, which means you got to worry about the seam, which means my man's going to eat and tackle. So
he's going to be nickeling it up.
Yeah, and I love it. I think that he's going to have a great year. I have Brisker vibes for real.
Ooh, those are my guys, Brisker and Petrie. I love them gentlemen. Yeah, I mean, I would love it. I think he's got the opportunity. The thing is, it's great is he's cut from a concrete boulder, so he can hit like a truck. He can cover. So I'm with it.
Literally, the last 2 people on my queue were Brown and Riley Moss, and here's where I talk about Riley Moss more than Devin Witherspoon. He's the guy I like more because nobody wants to test their tan at this point. Nobody, which means Riley Moss going to eat, right? And he's going to get tackles. He might get burnt here and a little there, but we watched him. That dude's closing speed is elite. 100%. I mean, he was messing with Jaden Reed. He was messing with Wilson. He was messing with Tank. All these guys who had really good landing spots, to be honest, as wide receiver wise, at the Senior Bowl. Riley Moss bossed them all.
Yeah, I called him suspenders, bro. He was clipped to the belt of every receiver he was on.
Every single one. He looked phenomenal. I was really, really impressed with him. And apparently so was Denver.
He got the hair and the mustache, bro. Like,
that dude, he came great.
He's the next guy. Like, I'm drawing a blank of his name right now.
Sehorn.
Yes, Jason Sehorn. Is it possible?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the way he comes downhill to hit you, 1, 2, his coverage is great. I just think, honestly, for me, we talked about the other Witherspoon being there. We thought that he was the best player at the Senior Bowl for Iowa, and that's saying something.
Oh yeah, exactly. Now Icky comes in, takes JL Skinner. Talking about Denver, I like it, but is he going to be productive this year?
Maybe later. It's happened early enough. It's possible, but he's definitely a guy that I'm grabbing in later drafts for a Dynasty League, 100%. That dude's going to be a baller in Dynasty. I mean, he laid some wood at the Senior Bowl. Like, he's a big cat. Man, he's a Cam Chancellor, bro. Like, he puts on 10 more pounds, Cam Chancellor and him going to be buddies. Like, they're going to have a conversation. Like, here's what you could be. He's tall.
If someone takes my guy, Sleeper, you need to go and sit in a dark room and think. Okay, because I typed in one guy's name, and where you have this guy ranked is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, Deion Henley was ranked 9999, and he's a guy in a good spot. You know what I mean? Trent Simpson. I by the way, I love the Trent Simpson pick. I feel bad for Patrick Queen. Like, that dude.
Trent Simpson.
Hey, what happens if Patrick Queen and Kenneth Murray both go to the Raiders?
Oh man, what is it with LSU linebackers?
I mean, I can say the same thing about Alabama linebackers.
Bro, you know how I feel about Alabama linebackers. Edge rushers, I'm cool with.
Yep.
Linebackers, no.
Even defensive linemen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only 2 decent linebackers in the league from Alabama. Bosky. Okay, I like it. New Orleans is good. That's a good spot for him. Ooh, see, Battle's a great pick.
Yeah.
I love, dude.
Battle and what's his name? Together. Dax Hill for years.
Yeah. Yep. I love it. Darian Williams. Oh, man, see, I love Dorian Williams. I mean, we've already talked. You want to talk about a phenomenal landing spot? People are listening because that's a guy I'm definitely loving the picks that you're making. Right now, you're winning my draft right now.
Bro, I just realized that Pinky stole my guy, Will McDonald.
Dude, you know me, I'm a huge Will McDonald fan. Like, I mean, the fact that one of the analysts literally stole my saying from and put it all over NFL Network.
Oh man, I would do it just to because I think he's going to do well. I think he fell because of his pass coverage, but I don't think
love it
with the guys in there. You know, they brought in Edmonds, right, from Buffalo.
Jermaine Edmonds, yep.
And they brought in the gentleman from Philly.
TJ Edmonds.
Yeah,
TJ Edwards. Sorry.
Edmonds, the E brothers, they're in there. But, you know, he's going to eat. If they just let him put pressure, my man's going to eat. Don't let him play in coverage. He can have a good year. He's not going to have to be the guy off the rip. I like Noah Sewell's landing spot.
Yeah, I really do too, to be honest with you.
I kind of liked, and I'm going to say it because I don't care. We got people watching. I don't think anybody's going to take him. But I know Frankie's there, Luvo.
You need to be quiet real quick. You ready?
All right.
I almost picked your pick, right? He's on my board, but he's my last pick.
Okay, all right. Well, he might be my last pick. I won't do it to you, though.
Oh, you get to pick him for it. No, you go ahead. We'll talk about it. But here's why I like we just talk about don't love Alabama linebackers, right? But the reason why I like Henry is because he's with a bunch of old linebackers. Okay? So Christian Harris is the younger guy there. I don't think he's as productive. So I think that Toto is going to – I mean, he was a steal, bro. That late, he's a steal.
So this Dr. Fantasy took Titus Leo, another Colts linebacker. I think he's just in on the Colts. That was a stretch in my eyes.
Yeah, that's a huge stretch. I think maybe just like I don't get the Leo, man. Sorry, Doc.
I like IDP Fantasy's pick here with Thule.
Yeah, that's Russ. That's a good pick.
Oh, Russ, you couldn't have come on the screen and let us see your beautiful face, Mr. Milk Cotton Boy. I will say shout out to Russ. Gave me some dope videos from the Nebraska game, for the spring game. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you. Andre Carter, like that. I think where the landing spot was, right? He got
Minnesota's solid, man.
Yeah, Minnesota. I think they can groom him, put a little weight on him. I think you'll be seeing him going down there very soon. Okay, Iggy. That's a hometown pick, Iggy.
That 100% was a hometown pick.
I got a couple guys on here. I don't know.
See, I don't lie. Like Wilson's he's dual designated, right? Yeah, he is. We're good. He's my defensive lineman. So
there's a couple guys on here that I'm surprised.
I really have Tyree as my. There's some good picks here. Let's go. Andre Carter really like to pick. Will McDonald.
Dude, steal.
Yeah, Will McDonald that late. I think it's a phenomenal pick. We watched him absolutely destroy everybody except for one player at the Senior Bowl, and the only reason that is because Schmitz plays center. And besides that, I mean Torrance. You name the player that played offensive line right. He got whipped.
He said that
Right got whipped by McDonald.
The two best guys he faced. I forget what the first one was the other one was
Osiris Torrance and Wright.
It's Antoine Harrison. Your guy out of OU. That's what McDonald
said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he said that's his best player that he's played. Yeah, him and Felix both said Anton was the best lineman they played all year.
Yeah,
which says a lot because both those guys were drafted in the first round.
Right.
So all three of them were drafted in the first round. Which I've got a guy that I'm looking for. I got to find him real quick.
We're waiting on Pinky to finish this one up here. You got a minute 8 on the clock. I think we might have to do this one again. This is early. Maybe we'll do one of these a month. Till camps really start breaking down. That way we get the community out there. I know this IDP is growing more and more. Just in the year that we started our IDP show, just think about all the members from the community that we've got to know, interact with, and continue to just expand upon. It's growing at a rapid pace. People are starting to like it. So I think it's time to start putting it out there a little bit more. So we're going to probably do a little bit more mocks. Maybe we'll talk to Coach, get some of these IDP rookie mocks in the Gilded chat, right? Get just a separate
100%
separate thing. I know George is doing the fantasy mocks, but maybe we can get an IDP mock in there in the Gilded chat. See if Coach is interested in, and we'll just try to get you guys more of this. Knowing you guys, like Craig said, because people aren't really ranking them the right way. We're down to the last couple seconds. 2, 1. Let's go. Brian Brzee off the board.
Yo, honestly, that's a great pick considering it was the auto pick. Like, honestly, love the pick.
Ooh.
I'm going to get my steal of the draft in a second.
Mate Mapu from Mace. And then, there it is. I was waiting.
I love Mapu.
Overshawn going to Justice. Overshawn is obviously going to be, the replacement for Layden. And if Layden even makes the whole season, because, he's had health concerns. So I'm not the biggest Overshawn fan, but I think where he landed is a good spot. Thoughts on it, Jared?
Yeah, I don't love the landing spot. Obviously, Texas, you sell tickets. It gives him time to learn a little bit more because there's some really good linebackers there, really good players in general. It's funny because their first round draft pick hasn't been picked yet, which is crazy because he's an absolute monster. But my last pick is going to be somebody that I need people to put an eye on. And to get him this late for me is going to be something. But I just don't love the pick. But I do love the Mapu pick out of New England. I mean, I know that you're a New England guy, so how do you feel about that?
I love it. So like the Gonzo and the Mapu pick, I love. I know I dropped the name and you didn't really want me to because that was who you were talking about. I like them both because you're securing your secondary for the future. You ain't got both Joneses last year. Obviously, Marcus Jones is a dog, right? Played great defensively, great on special teams. We all know Kyle Duggar, what he does. I think Mapu is Kyle Duggar 2.0, right? But I think with the Mapu pick, it puts Kyle Duggar, if he can get a little bit more cerebral, into that Devin McCourty role now that McCourty has retired, right? So you can be that, that cerebral leader on the field. Let Mapu go around and just stop slobber knocking people like Rodney Harrison used to. So you can see what Belichick is doing there. if Gonzo could be that lockdown corner, you're looking good with Gonzo and Jones. So
How do you feel about DJ Johnson? I'm going to talk about a guy, played tight end in college as well as defensive end.
I like DJ, super athletic, right? Like you said, played tight end, transfer over to there's just some things about DJ's game where I feel like he takes plays off. I watched him a lot at Oregon, I'm sorry. And it's just, I don't know. I had questions. There's the same thing they didn't use DJ and Noah the right way until like the final 4 games of the year. And then when they did, what happens? Pressure. When you're dropping Noah back and dropping DJ back in coverage because Justin Flo and your other, linebackers can't cover, and these guys aren't good at covering, you're kind of exposing yourself. I don't want to run out the clock the whole way. So I'm going to take my guy, and I'm going to take this guy. Craig mentioned him a little bit. I'm going to go with coach's guy, Owen Popo, for the simple fact that they're not going to take Simmons on a 50-year option.
Okay.
Slide Popo in.
Time
to eat. I don't even know if Simmons is going to be there by the time camp starts.
Ooh, I love the Nick Herbig pick. So quick funny thing. Little funny thing about Herbig though, the fact that it was the international pick, and Highsmith had to actually announce it. And he's, inside he's like, oh yeah, what the like, y'all just drafted my replacement. So I don't know. I think Herbig, honestly, I really like him. I think he reminds me a lot of Joe Schobert, and I understand that he went to Wisconsin, but he has that type of player in him. I mean, he's everywhere.
Yeah. He reminds me of another guy that's kind of still on the board here, Bumper Pool, right? The style of play, downhill. His motor's always running. My only concern is I know it's Pittsburgh, and they cycle through guys quickly, and sometimes Pittsburgh doesn't give the extra deals once they go through their first contract. He's in a loaded room, right? They went out and got a couple guys in free agency that they paid. So we'll see what happens.
All right, so this guy is one of those really, really productive players on not a really great team, and he gets compared to Max Crosby a lot because he went to the same school. And this is a player I need you guys to keep an eye on, especially with all the injuries and drama that's happening in Tampa Bay. Jose Ramirez getting drafted by the Bucs is an absolute grab by them, considering what they went and did early in the draft. Because they got Cansey too. They're going to be young and strong. Hopefully Devin gets his head out of his butt and decides he wants to stay there and be the anchor of that defense, because man, they could be really, really good defensively. And Ramirez is, I'm telling you, nobody's talking about him. That dude had how many sacks did he have last year?
I don't know, but how many reps did he do it at 225? It was like 30? Something.
Absolute dog, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, he ran a 4.7, and I understand it's whatever, right? But he also ran a 4.3 in the 20-yard shuttle. So he's quicker than he is fast, but his stats they don't lie.
You're going to line up him on the side of Cansey?
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck stopping one of them, gentlemen. One of them guys is going to get to your backfield. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just telling you, Ramirez absolutely ate at Eastern Michigan. So, and if Max Crosby gets in as much love as he is, and I don't care that Max Crosby ain't just going to give you love because you went to the school. He really likes him. So,
right, like if they start stunting, right, Ramirez, bro, that could be a deadly line right there. And like you said, young even for years to come. So we'll see what happens. Zaire Bonds off the board to the Jets. What are your thoughts?
Well, here's the thing: is I feel like they need to get younger anyway at the linebacker position. So Barnes is really overall a great pick for them. He is off ball, so I mean he's in that position where they need to get somebody that's going to play the C.J. Mosley position in the future, because they ain't going to pay that dude again. So
great question by Craig here. With them taking Yaya before Ramirez, how do you feel about Yaya? I love Yaya. I just think that Ramirez, I feel Cansey and Ramirez are going to line up on the same side, right? I just that's just the way I'm
Well,
feeling.
the thing is their defensive ends, that they have, that linebackers that they have, one of them's got some stuff going on with his kid. That's terrible.
Mhm.
They're old. I
Yeah,
mean, their defensive line is old. So I love Yaya. He's very athletic, but Ramirez is a better bend. Yaya's tall. I mean, he's just really, really. He's fun to watch. He really was a great interview at the combine. Um, Great name, to be honest with you. But I feel like there's a reason why Ramirez had so much production, and I can't hide that. So
yeah. I like.
I can't wait to see them 2 years from now. That whole group is going to be scary good.
That could be their starting defensive line for the next 6 to 8 years.
Yeah, I mean they could be both sides. Plus, I mean they've got a good guy. They got a tyrant last year, right? So
Yeah,
I'm telling you, they're studs, bro.
defense
Studs.
looks good. They got a good running back and Rashad White. The wide receiver room is pretty good. They're a little older, but they're pretty good. Tight end, outside of Gronk, they've kind of just been throwing, fish into the water there. And then there's the QB department. They brought in the All-Star Johnny Wolford today, right? And they got the All-Pro, the other guy, and Baker. And
Hey, I'm telling you, watch out for Baker.
I know, I'm just saying. And then they got the man of mystery and Kyle Trask. So,
I've never been a Trask fan. I feel like he was a product of the system.
I agree too. I caught smoke about that from a lot of people when I wasn't an analyst at all, and they were like, "Look what he did in Florida." I'm like, "Bro,
Yeah, look what he did his last game at Florida. And Oklahoma's dude. Hey, Oklahoma is my team. Their defense is trash, and they picked that dude off 3 times. Once for a pick 6.
Yeah, can I say, look at what Graham Mertz did this year? Like, because he's, you know what I mean? Like, he couldn't do it in Wisconsin. He might have a good year in Florida because it's whatever. But
Hey, honestly, who you taking, Trasker or Baylor Zappi?
Zappy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on. What'd they do?
Ronnie Hickman and Derek Hall to close it out.
Dude, I'm so glad that they decided the computer picked Derek Hall because I love Derek Hall.
So Russ is saying, what's your thoughts on Ivan Pace and Cervanka Dennis? Ivan Pace, I do like. We were a big fan of Pace at the Senior Bowl. He's got a high motor, right?
Bowling ball.
Now, Dennis, talking about the Bucks, right? I'm pretty sure he went to the Bucks. I was hoping one of these guys was gone, right? Like, David, are we going to keep trying to beat a dead horse? Like, David should be gone, and then you would have no problem with White. He'd be happy where he is. You could give him his extension. You just paid David a bag, and he's old. Was it $23 million or something like that? Like,
yeah, I didn't get that at all. Like, I understand that's your guy, right? And he's been an anchor. Bro, the problem is he's still an anchor because he's holding your defense down long term. So
I agree. I think Dennis, I don't know about this year. If for some reason David does not stay healthy, he's inserted. Pace is going to be a rotational player. He's not going to be an every down guy. He's going to, he'll get pressure. I don't know if he's going to be out there in coverage because we watched him a little bit Senior in coverage. That wasn't his forte. But getting
that's
down
because everybody just reached right over top. They moss him just standing up. He's little, man, but he's a bowling ball. I mean, he can make tackles
too. So, but
we like him. I mean, I like Pace overall. To be honest with you, he's a little guy. He's smaller than Jayon Brown. That's saying something.
Yeah, I agree. This is a good mock, Jared. 40-minute mock, not bad. You had fun. Shout out to Justin in the chat. Again, shout out Russ in the chat.
Hey, what was the B-Wags question?
Hey, now B-Wag's still balling.
Yeah, I think so. It's very possible.
It is, but we'll see what happens. We're talking about young bucks here. And Lamont David ain't a young buck. All right. So, boom. It was just a pleasure doing this one. We were able to smash it out, get it good. Like I said, we're gonna have to do another one. Get more content out for these people for gentlemen that want to do IDP because I think it's a
Yeah, we're gonna get a good one coming up. We'll just do it. We'll just call it. And we'll do it a month from now, and maybe 2 weeks from now, and we'll get right at it and let you guys get right back at another one, and you'll get a little more juice about what's going on in programs, and you'll figure out who you love and whatnot. Let's get a little shout out to T2T for all the places I got to go this year. So, combine, drafts, Senior Bowl.
Subtle flex, just a subtle flex. You do anything. Boomer, as always, take us away.
Hey, until next week. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Come on.
Yeah.